Okay, let's go live. Hello everyone, I am Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. So today we are having one more session that is on Salesforce OmniStudio. So it is episode 6. So till now we have completed 5 episodes in this season 2, and in those sessions Abhishek delivered like different scenario implementation. Those were related to data raptor. So today also I have Abhishek with me, and today he will be explaining you few scenarios which are based on integration procedures. So you will get to know like how you can integrate your data raptor with integration procedures so that uh, like calculations can be done. So data raptor is just to fetch data, to store data, but in integration procedure we can do some calculations also. So you will get to know about those. So welcome Abhishek once again on the platform, and like over to you. Please let everybody know about you.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. So, hi everyone, myself Abhishek, and I'm working as a Salesforce Velocity developer in this ecosystem since 5 plus years now, and I have done some certifications around Velocity slash OmniStudio as well as some certification around core Salesforce as well, and some of them are like OmniStudio developer, and then some industry specific certifications like industry CPQ. Then I'm also holding a certification around health insurance quoting, which is also from Velocity, and some of the Salesforce certifications. So yeah, Sanjay, that's all about.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. So, guys, if you want to become part of a community where lots of folks are connected and they are just exchanging their information on Salesforce, so you can join and you can scan this QR code. It is on Telegram, so you can join that. And if you are following all the sessions, so please provide some reviews or feedback about the bootcamp. Okay, so I think we can start with the scenario implementations now. So we'll be having 3 scenarios. So data raptor turbo extract, data raptor extract, and data raptor load. So you will get to know like how you can use these data raptors, different data raptors in integration procedures. Over to you, Abhishek.
Yeah, yes, Sanjay. So, the way Sanjay have mentioned, like right till now we have completed all the data raptor scenario for all 4 types of data raptor. And in today's session, we're gonna implement the integration procedure. So if you are following us from the season 1, then IPs or integration procedures are generally used for whenever you want to build some sort of business logic, the way we do into our Apex classes. Let's say you are fetching some sort of data from SQL, and now you want to do some sort of modification, or by creating any loop or writing any loop, you want to do some business logic and build some sort of logic in there that we can do with the help of IP. And obviously, data raptors all alone cannot be. There is no use for them. In order to use data raptors, we have to create IPs or Omni scripts. So that's the funda. So in today's session, we're gonna execute 3 scenarios where we will be calling our 3 data raptors type: turbo extract, and the data raptor load from the integration procedure. So let's jump into the org now. Mm. I think this is taking a bit of time.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
So we're gonna create a new integration procedure, and I mean, like just to reiterate, I mean, you all must be knowing, I mean, how integration procedure we can configure. What are the properties of integration procedure? So just a recap. This is your IP name. This is your IP type and subtype, and the combination of type and subtype is the uniquely identifier for an IP. And label, you can give it anything you want to like. So I'm gonna give like IP example data raptor turbo, and here I'm gonna say, let's say IP will be my type, and example dr turbo will be my subtype. So
Okay,
that's
so
how we can create
yeah,
an IP.
these type and subtype can also be custom. Anything we can write here.
Yeah. And the basic funda behind type and subtype is like, let's say you want to build 5 integration procedures around the account object. So you can keep the type as account and subtype as per the functionality. So that I mean, like when we will be having the component sheet, we will be able to categorize all of the components, like these IPs are related to object.
Right.
So IP contains 3 sections. First is available component, second is structure, and third is properties. And in the properties, we have the preview as well, which is similar to the data raptor. Just pass the input parameters and execute, and you'll get the output. So in the okay. So in the available components, you will be able to see similar things which we have in Apex, like cache block, conditional loop, try catch. And in actions, you will be able to see all of the actions that you can perform by using an IP, like chatter action, expressions at DR, all 4 types of DR actions, some delete actions, DocuSigns, email, and even you can call an IP from an IP. So these are the available components which you can use, and it's a zero code component, so you don't have to write any sort of component. Like if you want to use a loop block, you can I mean, this loop block will execute in the format of loop block, but you don't have to write anything. So in order to call in data raptor turbo, we will be dragging and dropping the dr turbo action from available components to the structure panel. And here you can give the name as like dr turbo. So this is your, you can say that element name. So this structure can contain multiple actions or groups, and you have to give a unique name to each and every element. So I'm gonna give like dr turbo, let's say account extract, and in this data raptor interface, as soon as you click on this one, you will be able to see all the data raptor turbo extract that you have into your environment, Salesforce environment. So let's say I'm gonna select this DRTE account records, and when you click on this small icon, which is kind of a attachment icon, if you link icon, if you click on this, you will be able to navigate to that data raptor from the IP only. So in this data raptor, what we are saying is, give us the values of active where and the rating where, and you will get the output. And if I go to preview and click execute, I will be able to fetch one account with this input parameters, rating where and active where. So similarly, if I want to call this data raptor from IP, I have to pass these parameters. So how you can pass these parameters from the IP? You can go to the input parameters, and on the left hand side, you have to write the exact parameter name that you have into your data raptor. So for example, I have first parameter is active. If I go here and I can pass a hard-coded value for now. And similarly, the other parameter is rating where. And the second parameter, let's say it is hot. Okay. And if I go to preview now, so if I click on execute, you will be able to see two sections in this IP. First is the response section, and second is the debug log section, errors debug log output section. Similar to the data raptor kind of, in the response, you will see the response that data raptor is giving. Error debug, you will be able to see all the queries and all these things. But IP works a bit differently. So let's say I have executed, I have drag and dropped element data raptor turbo extract, and we have called the data raptor and we have passed the input parameters. But similar to data raptor, it will not give us the output into the response. It will give us the output into the response, but there is a way of doing it that I'll be explaining now. But if you see the debug logs, in the debug logs, you will be able to see so many things. Debug response full, debug log, full data JSON response, original input, execution sequence. And after that execution sequence, you will be able to see your element names. So I just drag and dropped only one element, which is DR turbo account. And for that, there are two elements, DR turbo account and DR turbo account debug, right? So if you click on the DR turbo account debug, you will be able to see what inputs you are passing to your data raptor. Okay. And if you click on this DR turbo underscore account, you will see what data raptor is giving back to this IP.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean, if you want to know more about these things, what are these? You can follow the season 1 IP sessions. You will be able to understand. So, back to the response section. Unlike not similar to the data raptor, it will not give us the output directly into the response section in the IP. The reason is data raptor will only have one query or multiple queries, or in the mappings. I mean, like the mappings are fixed. Like these mappings will always come into the data output. That is why response gets generated automatically. But in IP, what happens? We can have multiple elements. We can call DR turbo, then we can call DR extract, then we can call some sort of email action. So IP do not know what output you need into your IP. Similar to Apex. When you are creating an Apex method, you can fetch multiple data. But as a return type, what you want to pass, that is up to you. So in the IP also, we have one thing called as response action. So in this response action, you have to give, so let's say I want the output of this element, DR turbo account, right? So in the send response transformation, I have to give this DR turbo account. And if I go to execute now it will give me the output into the response section, right? So in the IP, we have to specifically tell that what you need into your output. So that's the funda of IP.
And if we have two data raptors, so we need two response sections, or one can show
no.
both?
So I mean, like we can do in that way as well. We can have two response action, and according to whatever data raptor is getting called, we can show the data. But standard way is like, let's say I am calling another data raptor turbo extract. Okay. Just give me a second. And I'm going to give the name as this. And I'm going to call the same data raptor here as well. So if you see, I have called the DRT same. And if I go to preview, it will give me the only the account, the first element. but I am having the response from DR Turbo account 1 as well. So if you want the output from both of them, then what you have to do is you have to go to the additional output, and now you have to create multiple mappings. So like this.
Okay.
This will be your one, and sorry.
Okay, so on left hand side, like same name, and on right hand side different. No.
Yeah, I mean, like on the left hand side, you can give whatever you want to do, but on the right hand side, you have to use the same name that you have used as your element names.
Right.
And
both the
now
results.
if
Okay, both the results will
Sorry.
be combined and it will be rendered as the response.
Correct.
Okay, two different lists.
Correct. Because we have created, for the DR Turbo account, we have created another variable as output, and for DR account 1, we have created another variable.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is how you get results from multiple elements.
And similar to this turbo extract, we can use extracts also, like same way, right?
Correct. So I mean, like the next example will be for the data raptor extract. So
And one more thing in above section send response transformation, we have 4 options. So we use send JSON path. It will be like showing data in the response. Then
Correct.
We have send JSON node, response JSON path, and response JSON node. So these are also useful or not?
So these are useful. So okay, I'll tell you the significance of these two things. If I go here, DR Turbo account, I'm gonna delete this one. I don't need this anymore. Preview, execute. So my data is coming. Now what I want is, as whatever result I am receiving in this DR Turbo _ account, I want this data into a parent node. Okay. So what I can do here is, let's say I'm gonna say account records.
Okay, so that data will go into under this JSON node.
Correct. So this will come under this now.
Right.
And so basically there are two concepts whenever we are calling any sort of element from an IP. First is, for example, when I'm calling this data raptor turbo extract, right? So in this element, I am sending some data to the data raptor, and I'm receiving some data from the data raptor, right?
Right.
So in this data raptor also, you can see we have these options. So I mean, like right now we have to pass 2 parameters. That is why we have used the input parameter. If I wanted to pass only 1 parameter, I would have done that in that way as well. So that would have also worked.
Okay.
But so what will happen? So my results are coming into this ACC data, right? So if I go here and let's say I want my ACC data into ACC data 1. Okay. And if I click on execute, so now you can see the response is null. And oh, okay. Just give me a second. Okay. So what I want is that as an output of this data raptor, I just want only ACC data active field only, not all the output. So if I click on execute here, and if you see the output, you will receive only no value.
Okay.
Correct? So if you want to trim down your data within the data raptor element only, then you can use this thing.
Okay. So like in real-time scenarios, like is it useful or not?
Sometimes it is useful because let's say your data raptor is giving you multiple list, let's say account list, contact list, opportunity list, for example. And as an output, you just only want account list. So here you can just trim down your data.
Okay.
Rather than receiving all the data, you can trim down your data and you can use that.
Okay, and here
Yeah.
data like node name is ACC data. I think we didn't provide this anywhere, or we. No,
This no,
if you remove this, still like in the response it is coming as ACC data.
correct. Yeah, I mean like it will come like this.
Okay.
So I mean that ACC data node have been removed from, if you can see.
No, but that name ACC data from where it was coming.
This one,
Hmm.
this is coming from the data
Okay,
wrapper.
okay. Yeah, this is coming from data. Right.
Yeah. So, so yeah, if I come back to the fundamentals. So in the element call, you are passing some data and you're receiving some data, correct? So these four nodes will be useful for you. But in the response section, only the send JSON path and send JSON node will be useful. The reason is in the response section, you just only pass the data. You don't receive any data back from the response section. If you write anything in there, there will be no use of it. So I mean, like you can say it's kind of a thing that OmniStudio provided, but it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go back to our new new integration procedure, and we'll call the data raptor extract from here. Let's call it IP underscore example dr extract. Here we're gonna select the IP again, and for this one we will say dr extract. And in the similar way, we will drag and drop one dr extract action. Let's call it as DRE underscore account. And in this one, you will be able to see all the data raptor extract, not data raptor load, not data raptor turbo. So for example, let's say I'm gonna use this data raptor account records, and if I open this data raptor, here we just need to pass active param. The similar way we pass to the data raptor turbo. If I go back here, input parameters, this, let's say no. Okay, let's say yes. And similarly, we'll add one response action. And in this data raptor account, let's have into the response. And if I go to preview, click execute, I will receive whatever data is being retrieved from the data raptor. Now, what will happen? Let's say I am passing a hard-coded value from here, right? Yes value. For example, I want to use this IP into multiple OmniScript. From one, I want to pass yes. From one second, I want to pass no. So that would be problematic for me because I have to create another IP for that now. So in order to resolve that thing, what we can do is, here we can say active param, and this input we can pass it from the input parameters. So now if I pass no, so I will receive the values as whatever accounts have active as no. So basically this IP becomes dynamic now. So it's kind of a dynamic mapping for your IP. The similar way we did for the data raptor, we can do it for the IP as well.
Right.
So similar concept. Everything is similar in this one as well. All send JSON and all response action thing. Last thing that we're gonna do is, I mean, that would be also pretty simple. As I mean, like I have mentioned into the previous sessions as well. We have mentioned in the previous sessions, like if you know the concept of data raptor in a good manner or in a perfect manner, you will be able to incorporate IP, OmniScript, and FlexCard very easy. So data raptor is the only concept where you need to learn how it is tricky, what are the tricks that we can perform. Because as you can see now, it becomes very easy to use IP. I mean, I know we have so many options in there, but I mean, calling in data raptor from an IP, it's very easy. We don't have to use our logical mind here, right?
Right. Just drag and drop.
Correct. So for this one as well, I'm gonna call it like IP underscore example dr load. So data raptor load, sometimes called as data raptor post action as well. So don't get confused by this one. Data raptor post action is kind of for calling a data raptor load.
Yeah,
So
this is
let's say,
this is very important to learn. Sometimes it is like confusing.
yeah, data raptor. So I generally call data raptor load always like data raptor post. I mean, whenever I create a data raptor load as well, I always call it data raptor post.
Yeah, because
So
load means we are getting some data,
correct.
and post makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So as soon as you will click on this one, you will get all the account. I mean, like whatever data raptor load you have created in your org. So I'm gonna use this one, dr load insert account, and this one I think will be expecting only the account name. So we're gonna pass this ECC name from here, and as you can see, let me go back to the data raptor extract. Here we have this input parameters. But into the data raptor post action, we don't have that one. So the main reason behind that is whenever you are calling a data raptor turbo or data raptor extract, there will be I mean, like you can think of it like it as a SQL query, right? Where you are passing the where clause. But when you are calling a data raptor post or data raptor load action, you have to pass a list of record, single record. So it cannot, I mean, like if you want to create an account, there will be at least 2-3 fields that you wanted to pass, you will pass. So you always pass those things as an object in the JSON format. So that's why they haven't included that input parameters section into the data raptor post. So if you want to pass multiple things, you can always click on this additional input and you can pass like this. So let's say I'm gonna hard code is like a SGTS account. If you and for example, let's say you are already receiving an object from your Flex card or your OmniScript, you will be getting into a node, right? So that node you can pass into the send JSON node that will automatically get passed to your data raptor load. Correct. So right now I just want to pass only one parameter. That is why I'm using the data send only additional inputs. If I will be having object, then I can pass it from the send JSON path, or I can pass it from the additional input as well. There is no difference in.
And this ACC name, it should be same as it is available in data raptor, right?
Yeah, this one, yes.
Okay.
And whatever I mean, like this data raptor post is giving us, I want as the output. And if I go to preview and execute, so as you can see, this data raptor is giving me this output because I have mapped the name, ID is coming automatically, and the S object type and upsert success is also true because I think we have the upsert. Okay, we don't have the upsert, but okay. I mean, like this is the default functionality of data raptor. So if I go here and see the output of this is what I'm receiving from the data raptor. Correct.
Right.
So let's say you want, whenever you have inserted an account with the help of an IP and you want this ID to be used further into your OmniScript or FlexCard, this you can take this IP into your OmniScript and you can use it anywhere.
Okay.
So Yeah, I think that's it from the scenario side, Sanjay, for today.
And if we are using in our data raptor load like multiple list bulk data we are creating, so in IP, like how we can pass the data, because we just passed one name here, and suppose data raptor load is creating multiple records. Okay, so from here
So
we need to create JSON, right?
correct. So what? Okay, I'll give you an example. So let me do
Yeah,
one thing.
I think it should be
I'm
similar to
gonna
data raptor load, because there also we create this JSON as an input.
yeah, data after extract. Okay, so what we can do is we'll copy this data from here. We'll paste it here and close this one so that will become this.
I think we need to have one more curly braces outside.
Yeah. And okay, now we are just passing the as an input. We are just passing this ACC name. So I'm gonna replace all the names with this, and I don't want this because I'm not passing these. And now what we will do here is comma. We have to remove these. Yeah. So now we have a list of accounts where we have two accounts. Where let's say SGTS EB1, SGTS EB2, and now what we're gonna do is
So you will be
from the
passing
data
this
raptor, yeah,
as a whole,
we will just pass this
send into
account,
JSON part. Okay.
and these two objects will get passed to your data raptor. And if I click on execute, this will give me the result of two accounts.
Right.
Right. So this is how you can use it for the bulk updates or bulk inserts.
So for individual, we can use key value pair, and otherwise we need to use that send JSON path.
JSON. And also, I mean, like, if you will pass this thing from here as well, this will also work. Now, but now the only change that we have to do into the data raptor is before this ECC name, you have to append that account as well.
Right. Okay, and whenever we will be using this IP into OmniScript or FlexCard, so this account name we need to use there as well, because here we are receiving data
Correct.
into account.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yep, I think that's it, Sanjay.
Yep. So I think all three examples you covered. So whoever will watch this video, so automatically like will be able to understand how different data raptors we can integrate with integration procedure. And when OmniScript and FlexCard will be learning, so this all the dots will be connected, like how data raptor is passing data to IP, then IP to OmniScript, and the reverse order also. Yep. So I think we can have a couple of more session on IP, so that we can explain few more scenarios, but that we will be doing in the next week. And next to next week, like one session we can do for OmniScript and FlexCard, and then we will be like explaining some projects, so that end to end people can understand like how these things are connected.
Right.
Okay. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, and thank you for whoever is watching live, and thanks to those also who are watching the recordings. So please follow all the sessions, because here we are just focusing on the scenario implementation, no theoretical thing. So if you go through all these scenarios, so I think it will give you more insight, like how practically you can implement things in OmniStudio. Okay, thank you so much for joining this session. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.